24 घंटे हो रहे हैं, कल यही वक्त था। इसी वक्त हैदराबाद के दिलसुख नगर में एक के बाद एक धमाके हुए।
This serial blast in Hyderabad, which shocked the nation, brought back the memories of the horrific 2007 blast in the city.
36 hours have passed, but no investigations have as of yet been made to actually make some sort of breakthrough in the probe in Thursday's twin blasts in Hyderabad.
It's 4 p.m. 28th August. 5 Indian officers were setting up the field operation to hunt a Jihadi terrorist. He had escaped after executing over 17 bomb blasts in multiple cities in India, and this time he was planning to execute a nuclear attack in Surat. If they failed to catch him that day, the entire intelligence operations of the past 2 years would go in vain. The man they were about to hunt was no ordinary fugitive. For years, he had remained just out of reach, slipping through the fingers of law enforcement again and again. His name was Yasin Bhatkal, also known as the Ghost. He escaped from police in 2011 and vanished beyond India's borders. Indian Mujahideen, the terrorist organization which had been active since 2005 and was responsible for multiple serial bombings across Indian cities. Its founder, Yasin Bhatkal, was dangerous that the agencies had placed around $45,000 on his head, a price that reflected just how badly the country wanted him caught. He was believed to have received arms and explosive training at a terrorist training camp in Pakistan. Over the years, he had operated under multiple false identities, frequently altering his appearance to avoid detection. At different times, he posted as a laborer, a traveler, and even a medical practitioner. He constantly changed phones, locations, and aliases, making it nearly impossible for intelligence agencies to establish a fixed trail.
दो एजेंसियां लड़ती रहीं और आतंकी निकल भागे। ये कमाल इसलिए हो पाया क्योंकि आतंकियों से ज्यादा दिलचस्पी दोनों एजेंसियों की क्रेडिट लूटने में थी।
Several attempts had been made to capture him across India, but each operation had failed as he repeatedly vanished just before arrest. This ability to disappear earned him a reputation within intelligence circle, a man who existed only as shadow. In November 2005, Yasin left for Dubai after failing to clear his 10th grade examination. After spending 2 years in Dubai, he disappeared under the identity of Ahmed. After 3 years of absence, the same man appeared in New Delhi, where he married Zaida Irshad Khan. Although they had several children, he did not reveal his actual identity to his wife. He told her that he was Imran, hailing from Lucknow. His family and wife had no idea that he was listed on the NIA's most wanted list. Their jihadist group, Indian Mujahideen, had carried out several attacks against civilian targets in India. After the 2010 Pune bombing, Yasin was identified in CCTV footage. As the police actively investigated, he was arrested the same year. The Indian government announced that the most wanted man had been captured. However, the person arrested turned out to be Yasin's brother. After witnessing multiple bomb blasts in different cities, the Indian government banned the Mujahideen on 4 June 2010 and declared it a terrorist organization. Subsequently, New Zealand, the United States, and the UK also officially placed it on the list of foreign terrorist networks. 15 days before the execution, a high-level meeting of the Intelligence Bureau was going on. In the meeting were the Joint Director of the Bureau and his deputy officers discussing how to catch Yasin Bhatkal. This was because months earlier, investigators had intercepted a conversation between Yasin and a man based in Pakistan. In the middle of the meeting, a special operation officer's phone rang. It was a call from Nepal.
Hello sir, the photo you sent me closely matches someone seen in Pokhara. The only difference is that the photo shows a beard and long hair, while this person is clean shaven with short hair. However, the eyes look similar. It could be the person you are looking for.
Officials in the meeting suddenly stood up in surprise at the coincidence. They immediately realized for a moment that they had found the person they were discussing. This was because the description from the informer seemed credible. According to the information, the suspected fellow named Dr. Yusuf had been living in Nepal for a while. He specialized in Unani medicine. It is a traditional healing system also known as Perso-Arabic medicine, which was developed by Arabs and Persians. It is used to heal the human body through herbal remedies, diet, therapies and massages. His parents were in Dubai and later shifted to Karnataka. As soon as the SOG officer heard the Unani doctor's identity, he immediately informed the Joint Director after the call.
Sir, we have some information. A man with similar eyes has been seen in Nepal. We can't miss this chance.
The Joint Director was convinced easily. However, convincing the same message to the IB headquarters in Delhi was not that easy. It's great news. We should immediately inform the Director of Intelligence. As soon as we get confirmation from Delhi, we can proceed further. He made a call to Delhi headquarters, informing them that they have intelligence on Yasin Bhaktkal's whereabouts in Nepal and that a team must be dispatched immediately. However, the DIP did not believe this information, as Delhi had a different assessment of Yasin Bhaktkal's location. According to their intelligence, Yasin was in Pakistan since 2008 with two brothers, Iqbal and Riaz Bhatkal, who were partners in their organization and had carried out multiple attacks together. In a disappointed state, the SOG team realized that failing to act could be disastrous for them, especially since the informer was one of their trusted sources. After thinking for a few moments, the Joint Director allowed the SOG leader to execute the mission on one condition: the mission would remain unofficial. The plan was to go to Nepal as tourists, operate covertly and bring the ghost back. But if anything went wrong, they could end up locked in a Nepalese jail and their careers would be over. The SOG leader formed a 5-member team, 2 officers and 2 field operatives. He also wanted to include SP Binay Kumar, who was working in East Champaran, Bihar. Binay Kumar had prior experience working with officials in Nepal, and if anything went wrong, his role would be crucial. During the preparation phase, the SOG team faced repeated denial and pressure from Delhi headquarters, which still believed the man they were pursuing was in Pakistan. At the same time, the SOG team continued to receive inputs about the suspect. He was reportedly seen in Rohtahat, Bara district. Before moving to Pokhara, a Maulana named Mujahideen Ansari had provided him shelter. He stayed at his house for multiple days. According to some witnesses, the man staying there spoke with a South Indian accent. Agencies had made multiple unsuccessful attempts to capture Yasin before 2008 in Chikmagalur, 2009 in Kolkata, and 2010 in Pune. Each of these missions ended in failure as he repeatedly escaped by outsmarting the police. This time, however, the operation was international. Any misstep could have put the relationship between the two nations at risk. Finally, on 20th August, at around 2 p.m., the SOG team of 5 reached Motihari. They met with SP Binay Kumar for the first time and explained the plan. The SP became excited and arranged 2 more vehicles, and the entire team headed toward Birganj. It was around 253 km distance from Pokhara. As per some reports, the team leader had taken a 40,000 personal loan from a friend so that they could purchase SIM cards and other expenses during the travel. As they crossed the border, their first step was to meet the informer, which was a risky move because none of the team members had ever met him before. They had only communicated with him through phone calls and messages. There was always the possibility that the informer was a Pakistani ISI agent. After meeting the informer, the team traveled to Pokhara, where they checked into the Mount View Hotel. The next day, they hired 2 motorbikes and disguised themselves in Bermuda shorts and sunglasses for the mission. They carried no guns, no officials' IDs or badges. The Joint Director had decided to keep the operation completely unofficial. While gathering these assets, the team received a new lead about a man named Balbahadur Thapa, also known as Abdullah. He was a former Indian Army soldier who had been living in Nepal after converting to Islam. In Pokhara, he was known for assisting Muslim tourists from India and Pakistan. The SOG team recalled that this was the same individual who had been detained by Nepal police during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Nepal. At the time of the operation, he was living in Buri Bazar, located a few kilometers from Pokhara. According to the intelligence, he had also helped Yasin stay there. The SOG leader instructed the informer to meet Abdullah and ask if they could go together to read namaz. The informer later called the team and said,
I spoke to him. He agreed to take me to masjid with him.
The informer picked up Abdullah from Buri Bazar and the two headed about 200 meters away toward Oregaon Chowk. Two motorcycles were quietly following their jeep from a distance. A few meters ahead, a suspicious house stood along the side of the highway. The jeep was stopped nearby. As the SOG team on the motorcycles observed from behind, two men on a motorcycle suddenly passed in front of them and entered the house through a back gate. The officer suspected that one of them could be the target. Abdullah then took the informer inside the house. After some time, the informer returned and confirmed to the team that it appeared to be the correct house. He reported that a man named Dr. Yusuf was staying there. The next day, they devised a new plan. According to it, the informer would tell Abdullah that he was suffering from a medical problem and ask him to take him to a Unani doctor. This time, his task was to collect a voice sample and closely observe the surrounding of his room. After a few hours inside the house, the informer called back and said,
Sir, this man doesn't look South Indian. He has a fair Kashmiri complexion and he speaks fluent Hindi.
Still uncertain, the SOG team contacted the intelligence headquarters in Delhi. After further investigation, they identified 3 key signs to confirm the identity of the ghost. He has a distinctive hairstyle, brushed backward. On his forehead, there is a scar, and his teeth slightly protrude from his jaw, giving them uneven appearance. It would be easy to notice his scar and hair when he removes his hat during the time of namaz. By the next morning, they received new information that Dr. Yusuf had a network of suspicious boys who frequently visited his house to meet him. One strange detail was that the Oregaon Chowk had only a few homes and shops. The SOG team stayed at a distance, keeping the suspected house under surveillance from nearby bars. Finally, the informer successfully entered the house, recorded a voice sample of Dr. Yusuf, and immediately sent it back to the SOG team. The agency had previously tracked multiple phone calls between Yasin and Riaz. When they attempted to match the voice sample, it aligned with his distinct southwest Maharashtra accent. At around 8 p.m., the team leader made a call to Delhi from the hotel.
Sir, we are 100% sure this is the man we have been looking for, but here's a problem. Oh, what's the problem now? Crossing the border will be difficult with a suspect at multiple checkpoints. If you could coordinate with the Nepal government, it will make things easier.
As the Delhi headquarters contacted to the Nepal police, 4 officers were dispatched to assist in the operation and help bypass the border safely. However, the Nepali officers agreed on 3 strict conditions. The suspect could not be arrested in public stations or crowded places. When the Nepali police moved in to detain the suspect, the SOG team would remain outside. If the man turned out to be a Nepali citizen, direct Indian involvement could strain diplomatic relations between India and Nepal. Until the Nepal police escorted him across the border and formally handed him over to Indian officers, the SOG team would remain silent and observe from a distance. The following day, the SOG team began surveillance outside the house. At the same time, the Nepal police were making discreet inquiries among people near the nearby shops. Unexpectedly, one of the officers spotted a man closely observing their movements. He was later identified as one of the main accused in the Varanasi and Pune suicide bomb attacks. The SOG officers quickly recognized him. He was an operative of Al-Qaeda and named Asadullah Akhtar. He had been working with the Indian Mujahideen for a long time. A reward of $11,000 had been announced for information leading to his capture. Officers suspected that he might be accompanying Yasin Bakhtal. As he began following one of the SOG officers, the officer calmly entered a nearby salon and shaved off his beard to avoid being identified and escape surveillance. The Nepal police returned to the embassy after a while as they had to report the situation. By then, both teams had been cooperating to execute the operation. However, the Nepali officers still did not know the true identity of the man they were supposed to capture. The SOG team had maintained strict secrecy and had only emphasized how urgent it was to detain him, not who he actually was. Because of this, the Indian government had to contact Nepali officials once again to convince them and explain how dangerous the suspect truly was. It had been almost a week since the Indian team began observing the target in Nepal. Finally, the decision was made to move and arrest him. At around 4 p.m., the officers were waiting for the Nepal police to arrive and enter the house. Unfortunately, the clouds began rumbling and heavy rain started. As the plan was supposed to be executed before the day ended, it was postponed by 4 hours. At around 8:30 p.m., the Nepal police reached the spot. 2 officers entered the house and 2 remained at the gate for surveillance. It was almost 10 p.m. and the SOG officers still waiting outside for them to bring him out. One of the officers received a call.
Hello. The person you are trying to catch is an innocent man. He is a turbine engineer. What are you doing there in Nepal? Sir, think carefully. Why would a turbine engineer sell Irani medicine? And if he is a turbine engineer, why would he pretend to be a doctor? Sir, listen carefully. Just tell the police to bring him out as soon as possible and we will decide later what to do.
After the call, the MAC officer told the police in the house to continue the operation. Finally, the police came out with 2 suspects at the gate of the house. As the police interrogated him, Yusuf accepted that he was Yasin Bakhtal. As they seized his phones and laptops, they stumbled upon something far more dangerous than expected. Evidence that could dismantle the entire Indian Mujahideen network. On the morning of 29th August, police reached the India-Nepal border near Raxol with Yasin Bakhtal and Asadullah Akhtar, where the SOG team was present to take custody of the 2 criminals. The SOG team planned to transfer them to Delhi headquarters as soon as possible so that they could begin the criminal charges. However, on the route, they took them to a forest guest house and started interrogating them. It was still important to maintain the mission secrecy, but some government officials started leaking the news before they reached Delhi. During the court sessions, Judge Shailendra Malik observed the digital data that was extracted from the seized devices in the hunt operation. It revealed several video clips of Jihadi literature, including writings justifying the killing of non-Muslims in the name of jihad. Chats between Bakhtal and his friends revealed their plan to plant a nuclear bomb after evacuating Muslims. The IM had multiple conspiracies for future terrorist activities. Some reports also indicated that Maoists in Nepal assisted in collecting arms and ammunition. Since the 1990s, Pakistan had frequently used Nepal as a transit route to carry out attacks in India. For example, in 1999, the Khandar hijacking involved terrorists who hijacked a plane from Kathmandu to Delhi. Beyond that, arms were often smuggled through Nepal's routes. Furthermore, the investigation revealed that the IM had recruited new members as well as sleeper cells within the country to commit terrorist acts by bomb blast at prominent places in India, especially Delhi. The NIA told the court that Indian Mujahideen operatives and their frontal organizations had been receiving regular funds from abroad through Hawala channels. The court framed charges against Bakhtal, Mohammad Danish Ansari, Mohammad Aftaf Alam, Imran Khan, Said Ovid or Rehman, Asadullah Akhtar, Uzzair Ahmed, Mohd Tehsin Akhtar, Haider Ali, and Zia or Rehman. Among them, 3 accused, Manjar Imam, Ariz Khan, and Abdul Wahib Siddappa, were discharged as the prosecution failed to provide prima facie evidence against them. The NIA filed 2 charges in 2014 against Yasin Bakhtal and 4 others in the 2013 Hyderabad blast case, alleging they built terror modules and sleeper cells across several Indian cities. The trial began in August 2015, examined 158 witnesses and extensive evidence, and ended in November 2016 with all 5 men found guilty and sentenced to death. After further interrogation and court trial, Yasin Bakhtal was transferred to Tihar jail in Delhi. On 8 April 2025, the Telangana High Court appealed the death sentences, calling the case rarest of the rare. Not every death sentence in India leads to immediate execution. After a person is given the death penalty, they can still file appeals in high courts and submit a mercy petition to the president. Execution happens only after all legal options are exhausted. So, generally speaking, the process takes a long time. After the operation, the Indian Mujahideen organization completely went silent. It is believed to have collapsed. However, 3 main partners of Yasin still remain free. According to some reports, they are living in Karachi, Pakistan, under the support of the ISI.